Hi, this is Adam Marcus for Modern Equine Vet, and you are listening to the Equine Express podcast.
Today I'm joined by Dr. Sheila Fitzpatrick, who is a vet herself and also a real estate agent in Vail, Colorado. Dr. Fitzpatrick, thanks so much for being on the program.
Yeah, thank you so much, Adam, for having me.
I'd like to discuss with you a talk that you gave at the recent annual meeting of the Texas Medical Veterinary Association on how to hire vets in a difficult market. So first, how difficult is this market compared with what you've seen in recent years?
I think the market is still very difficult. It's improving. We have multiple veterinary schools putting out new veterinarians. 3 new schools put out some new veterinarians this year. We have approximately 13 in process total. So the problem is hopefully going to get better. But right now it's very difficult. And there's many veterinarians, especially in rural locations, who have been looking for anywhere from 3 to 5 years to find a veterinarian.
So, one of the sayings of the era is meet people where they are. How much is social media playing a role in helping match hirers with people who are looking for work in this field?
Honestly, social media does not play as big a role as people may think. People pick positions based on location. It appears to be location is very big. Salary, benefits, work-life balance, and mentorship. Depending on if you are talking to a new graduate or an experienced veterinarian, the order of importance might vary.
So the concerns that people have about burnout and stress and inability to pay off debt, these must play into the hiring process in some way. What can hirers do to help alleviate those concerns for new vets?
Well, I think it's important to offer them a competitive compensation package, to offer them retention bonuses if you can, to help them out. First of all, encouraging them to stay, but second of all, giving them some help towards their student loans. Some people do student loan paybacks. They do sign-on bonuses or retention bonuses. Those are the 3 structures that we see. And I see a number of large animal practices that want to do a pro-sale approach. What that means is they only want to pay on production. And I honestly feel that, and according to the AVMA study recently published, 67 to 70% of these veterinary practices out in the world are paying a base salary plus production, not doing straight production. Because a lot of these young kids are getting out of school with a huge debt load and they don't have a clientele. They haven't really seen cases yet. It's going to be really stressful for them to try to produce. So offering them some type of base plus a production package would be the way to go. Yeah.
So you note in your talk that the number of vet schools is growing. Why is there so much growth when there are also these sort of downward pressures on salary and the debt is so high?
Well, I think that COVID started a huge trend in pet ownership. And of course, pet ownership's gone down a little bit since COVID, but we have a rising population in general, rising population of pet owners. We have technology now that makes veterinary medicine far more advanced. We have more people taking their pets to the vet now that there's more technology, more social media pressure of recognizing disease processes in pets, recognizing the importance of preventative care in performance, say, of horses. And so we're seeing an overall increase in people's need for veterinary care.
So you talk a fair amount about what to do. Can you give us a couple of what not to do's when you have these conversations with prospective hires?
Absolutely. I mean, the first thing to not say is, we've been looking for a veterinarian for 5 years, and whatever you want, we'll give you. Because I do hear that. I think that there's a lot of talk out in the world about on-call. And myself being a veterinarian over 30 years, I was on call for many years. And on-call does kind of go into work-life balance. And to not require, especially a new grad, excessive on-call right out of the gate, to try to give all of your new veterinarians or your existing veterinarians some work-life balance and recognize work-life balance. Thirdly, not offering pro sale out of the gate, not offering a commission only salary when you know that they're pressured with high loan payments.
Okay, good advice. Well, Dr. Fitzpatrick, thanks so much for talking with us about this subject, and look forward to speaking to you in the future.
Yes, you have a great day. Thank you so much.
Thanks. So do you have 5 minutes to talk about how you became a real estate agent?
Yeah, so I sold my practice to a consolidator in 2021, and the consolidator recognized that I had a huge social media presence, and I talked to a lot of sellers just about my experience, and they ended up hiring me in business development. And then I brought so many sellers to the table. My attorney said, you should do this yourself. You should work with sellers directly. So that's the choice that I made, is to go out on my own. And so I did this threefold. I'm a certified exit planning advisor, so I can work with financial advisors. I actually went to school in Ohio for that, Exit Planning Institute. I'm certified in valuation, which was exorbitantly difficult process. That's through the NACFA. And then I went to real estate school, and I worked with Berkshire Hathaway. And I think it's been a intensely valuable experience, because I might know a lot about veterinary medicine, but I didn't know a lot about real estate. So I have a group of people around me to support me. So I price things correctly. And, a lot of veterinarians, they struggle with leases, for example, and a lot of landlords don't want to pass the leases on to buyers. I mean, not a lot, but there's some resistance. And so I feel like it's really helped me negotiate that.
Yeah,
But it's
very
a
interesting.
lot of schooling at 57. I can say that. It was a lot of work, but it's been really kind of fun, but definitely a 180 pivot.
Do you practice at all anymore, or no?
I don't. I feel that the consolidation of the profession has really changed it. And I was the Vail vet, right? Everybody in Vail, Colorado knew me, and I knew them, and I can't go anywhere without knowing. But I really like the small town and the non-corporatization. But I think the corporatization and the consolidation has really changed the interpersonal relationships between veterinarians and their owners.
I would imagine there's a high density of privately owned horses in Vail, Colorado.
There is, yeah.
Yeah, you're probably quite busy.
I was very busy, but not many people work on horses in Vail, and I did. And so, and I also had a dental I specialize in dentistry. So I did things that other people didn't do.
That's actually an interesting topic to get into, which is, what specialties would you advise a new vet to get into now as opposed to 10 years ago?
It's a great question. I think the specialties are still out there, but with equine, obviously orthopedics and lameness is a big specialty. Surgery is a specialty, which those are specialties are not going to die. Dentistry is a battle because they're allowing lay people to do dentistries, non-veterinarians. So that's a little bit of a problem. We could get a rebirth of veterinarians who want to own practices and understand business.
What would it take? What are the factors that would need to change for that to happen?
I think more education, just going to the school level, of having people like myself, which I'm trying to do that, talk to students about owning your own business, because I think it's very valuable. When you work for a corporation, you're limited by them, right? You can't grow financially. You get to a certain point and that's it. Yeah. But when you're an owner, growth is exponential. But a lot of people don't value that when they're young. But when they get to be my age, and we have kids that need to go to college, and you got to pay for their education and their cars and everything else, all of a sudden you say, well, I couldn't have done this if I had stayed working as an employed veterinarian.
Yeah, for sure. Dr. Fitzpatrick, thank you so much for taking the time to speak with me.
And thanks for having me. I'm available at any time. You can reach me at www.vpveterinary-advisors.com, and feel free to reach out if anybody has questions.
Great. Thank you so much.
Have a great day. Thank you.
Bye-bye.